Hi guys and welcome. This would be the last stand-up vlog for this course. We are going towards the end of of everything, and I thought that today we go through the topics that will be at the exam. So you get the chance to prepare. There are a few days left. Hopefully, all of you already booked your time slots. Otherwise, contact me. There are some free spots available, and we will be finished. We should be finished with the exam by the end of next week. And I'm also hoping to finish grading assignment 2 by then. So if you have been following the course through the normal timeline, you should be completely ready with everything, including then your group project, and everything should be graded by end of next week. But there is also possibility to do the project a bit later, because the final submission deadline is 17th of January, which is a few days after the oral exam, with the sort of the thought that if you need to finish something in your report, for example, that you have some time for that. Otherwise, we're starting the exam with your group presentation, and present your project. You show the functionality, you show your architectural diagrams, and you present who did what. So, which is also very important, that you can demonstrate that all of you somewhat equally contributed to the project. After we are done with the demo and you get some feedback, either that it's completely fine or you maybe need to fix something, then we split again and start with your theoretical exam. So what's included in the exam? Here is some information that you have on the course page. So it can be anything that what concerns your project, and the discussion there, but we hopefully will take that in the group, right? And after that, we have 5 topics to sort of to check your knowledge on, and they all kind of correspond to each of these. So let's see now. Have this thing. Let's see here. Yeah, so the first topic is continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. If you in some way participated in the both making the pipeline for assignment 2 and for your group project, you should not be able to have any problems. You shouldn't have any problems with this. There is also a nice theoretical introduction in the course book in chapter 1. Introduction to Cloud Native, where you can see this figure and where all of these different parts are described, both the definitions and the difference between continuous delivery, continuous deployment, what is continuous integration. So all of these questions are going to be somewhat included in this part 1 of the exam. It can also be something more practical, that I will ask you to look at the pipeline code and see, like, what is there any mistake here, or what does this line mean, and so on. So somewhat more practical. I don't think there will be any problems with this, because you already also had it covered in other parts of the course, other courses where you have this part. So then part 2 then is infrastructure as code. In kursplanen says visa kunskap på att använda plattformar för hantering av serverkonfigurationer. And as you probably guessed, this is the part which Diego was teaching, and the part that's called infrastructure on the course press. There hasn't been that much theory there, and it's the questions at the exam will also be more more practical, and think of like scenarios like, oh, if you use Terraform and you have this problem, what can this be? Or like, what is the difference between Terraform and Ansible? What other alternatives there are to Ansible? So I would look through to prepare, would look through all the slides and materials that you had for infrastructure module, and that Diego provided, and the supporting videos to infrastructure module. So yeah, nothing more there. Is again kind of designed to just check that you have been working and paid attention to infrastructure as code throughout the course. It could also be good to make sure that you understand the code that Mats has written to create the infrastructure, which is a bit more complex than what you maybe did in your assignment. And no one expects you to write as complex code for Terraform, but it would be good to understand what it means. What is a Terraform module, for instance? How this is structured? How is identity handled in that code? So just familiarity with the code that you are using in your assignment 2 and your project. Next part in course plan is called Visa kunskap om olika metoder och teknologier för kontinuerligt mjukvaruleverans. Och det kan man tycka att det är typ samma som A1. Och to like clarify this is more about Kubernetes. So continuous delivery, continuous deployment in the context of cloud native applications. So if here you're expected to know the basics and sort of to know the difference between staging and production and different parts of the pipeline and yeah, concepts. So here we go in more in what it means to do a continuous delivery in the context of Kubernetes. So Kubernetes manifests different ways to specify infrastructure, different ways to structure your to handle your continuous delivery. Docker Compose via Scaffold, for example. And what does Scaffold do? What does when can we use only Docker Compose? Here can also be some questions about different parts of Kubernetes and what happens when we deploy an application to Kubernetes. What is a pod and what is state, and so on and so forth. So here in terms of theory, it's again chapter 1 in the book, and also in every other chapter that is mentioned. Look in the book that it has DevOps part. So for example, if we go to this one, chapter 2, communication patterns, which talks about asynchronous messaging. Asynchronous messages has DevOps part. So what does it mean? What kind of problems we can have when we deploy a message queue to Kubernetes? Can there be any issues there? So either reading this in each chapter, or you probably have encountered these problems when you are working specifically on your group project or A2. So again, if you have practical knowledge, there should not be any problem to answer the questions that I make here. Yeah, so again, Kubernetes architecture and features are also discussed in chapter 1 pretty well. And you can also look through again your report on assignment 2. There were some questions that kind of prepare you for this part of the exam. So what is the main purpose of Kubernetes? What challenges does it bring to develop web applications for the cloud? What other alternatives are there? So this this is this part that you should be able to reason about. A4 is pretty straightforward. These are design patterns, so arkitektur och designmönster för molnapplikationer. And this is the reading material that was named for the part 2 in the course, which was called Microservices and Container Management, Design Patterns and Architecture. And then for the group project, you got this reading material and some workshop material also about scaling, about different types of data management that you can use in your group project. And here again, you should be able to explain and understand patterns that you haven't used in your group project. So maybe you chose not to use command and query responsibility segregation pattern for your project for some reason, but you should be able to motivate why and also know what it means. Same thing for API management. Maybe you have API gateway, maybe you have used BFF pattern, but you need to be able to know the difference. Yes, so this is it, and I would also here look again through design workshop that we had and the data management and scaling workshop that we had. And A5 also pretty straightforward. Hållbarhet, you need to be able to reason about miljöaspekter, environmental impact of cloud native applications, cloud in general. And that's in the course literature. If we go back here, all of the workshops that we had, I have added to the page, including this then. And here it says workshop 4 slides. So the workshop 4 that we had was pretty interactive and there was a lot of discussion. So if you missed that, the slides might not help you that much, but still look through them because there are links to other materials. For example, here then, green software patterns for cloud. And this page is really good as well. This is cloud native sustainability page, which includes pretty much everything you need. So if you read through this and understand, should not be any problems. And just to be clear, you don't have to read through everything because there's a lot of examples, so you don't have to go through through each app, but more of the overview and different sustainability challenges that here, for example, different, how do we quantify carbon emission of the cloud? What you have challenges in the private cloud? What's the difference of using a big cloud provider or setting up your own cloud infrastructure like we did at LNU? And so on. And here in the green software patterns in the catalog, you have this cloud, which includes all different types of patterns that you as a developer can use to minimize environmental impact of your application. And again, you're not expected to know all of this, but you should be able to name a few and potentially even have used one of these in your project. So that was it about the exam. I think there should not be any problem again if you have read provided reading material. You should also be able to answer only 60% of all the questions. The way I'm thinking we will do this to also save some time is that we will sort of go backwards. You will get a drawn question in each category, so 5 questions in total, which if you comprehensively answer each of these random questions, you should be good to go. And if you start sort of to be unsure about the question, you can get a different question in that category, so that we can figure out if you have enough knowledge in each module. So that's it. There was also some questions if you can do oral exam if you are not done with your project, and I would not recommend that. First of all, because I think it would be difficult to answer some of the questions anyway, if you haven't gone through the practical work. And second, because you still need to present your project, and it will just stretch out in booked time slots. So that is, please don't do that. Let's finish the project and then book a time. There will be another round of exams at the end of January, so you still have some time if you are sort of a little bit behind the main the main timeline. There is one small problem. This course is blocking you in order to start your examensarbete, your thesis project. So at some point after this week, I will be sending a list of people that are that sort of qualify for the thesis project to Pauline, and in some ways it will be on the person-to-person basis, but I would like to see you to be able that you're able to be done with the project at least, so that that is the main sort of thing on the exam you can do at some point later. So if you are behind, I would still prioritize finishing the project on time. So okay, this was it. There were only some questions about SSH access to your group infrastructure, and I hope I answered them on Slack. Otherwise, I will also be available from now until 12, both on Slack, on Zoom, or just come by the office. In the afternoon today, we have visitors from Kalmar Science Park, so that's why I couldn't do the regular workshop times, and to compensate for that, I will also be available tomorrow on Thursday. Otherwise, good work, good luck. I'll see the first of you on Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we will be working through our oral exams and project presentations. I also encourage you, after you have done your project presentations, please share your the URL to your project and your maybe some kind of preview of your report on our Slack. So in the same way as we did after the design workshop. So your learnings, how did it go? If you managed to achieve your goal through in this short time, what problems you had. So you basically share as much as possible with the group. Don't be shy, and even if you think that like it's not good or you haven't managed to do everything you wanted to do, it really boosts the motivation and sort of it's only good if we share even things that haven't maybe gone as expected. Yes, so good fortsättning if you still say that, and let's finish this cloud native stuff in the coming weeks, and full speed towards your thesis and graduation. So thank you for today. Bye bye.